Morning guys, I'm Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder School, back in our series in green woodworking. And I wanted to show you a little trick today that you can use to make another type joint, or to put things together or build things in general in the woods or in your shop. And you can make this implement and put it with you in your small carry kit, and it's a very useful item even in the woods. And we've talked extensively about augers and auger bits and things like that. And drilling different size holes gives you lots and lots of options when you're putting things together. But if you drill a hole in something, you generally have just made a mortise, and you want some type of peg to go through that mortise hole. So you can sit and you can carve that peg by hand, you can carve that small dowel by hand, or you can manufacture them really quickly with a tine making jig. And a tine making jig is something that they used when they made rake tines back in the 1800s. And what they would do is they would take a piece of metal, like this piece of flat stock here, it's probably 1/4 inch thick, and it's got 2 holes drilled in it with a drill press that you can see here, and it's beveled on the other side. And this is the upside. And then you could just cut this off to whatever length you wanted to carry around with you, as long as you had enough length to hold it down somewhere steady, because you're going to hang this over the top of a stump, and in this case we're going to hang it over our bench. I haven't cut this one off yet. This is my experimental model, but it works really well. And I'm going to show you how you can turn any piece of stock into a perfect dowel so that you can use it to fit up against the hole that you drilled with your auger. Okay, so let's just cut a quick demonstration piece here. We'll just cut a piece of green maple here into 2 pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a corner joint here. That's basically going to be 2 rabbet cuts. So we'll cut into this about halfway through the material. The same width as the piece we're going to put over the top here, just like this. And then we'll take our knife and just baton that straight off, just like this. So there's half of our joint. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, clean that up just a little bit with our knife here. So we have an overlapping joint here like this. Now we would bore a hole down through that joint so that we can secure it together with a peg. So what we'll do is we will drill holes in each one of these. Let's flip it over here so we can see what we're doing. And again, we can do this with our auger. So we take our T-handled auger, we center it up, and we drill a hole. Just like that. Just back it right out. And we have a hole right there. And then we need to match that up on this side. So all I'm going to do is put my bit back in to this hole and just twist it in a little bit to mark my center. Pull it out. Lock this thing down into whatever type of woodland vise I'm using, or in my shop. Center that bit up, cut that hole, pull the bark off of it there, and you can see that we've got another hole there, and these 2 holes line up. Now, we want to join this up, we can peg this together. Put some pine pitch or some type of glue or whatever adhesive in there to glue this together. But if we put a peg joint in there, everything that swells and shrinks should keep it fairly tight. Now we have to figure out how to make a peg, and that's where this tool comes in, the tine maker. Okay, once we have gotten our holes made here, what we want is we want a pin that's round like this to go in there and lock that together. That we can glue in place, trim it off, and it's going to hold permanently once it's done. To make that, we're going to use the tine maker. And all I've done here is taken this thing and put it down flat on the bench, put a hold fast on top of it. You could sit on this thing, stand on this thing, put a point on this thing and drive it into the side of the stump, whatever you needed to do to get this thing held in place. Then you're just going to cut pieces of raw material with your axe, just like you were cutting down kindling or something like that. Take your knife and get it somewhere in the proximity of the size you want. It doesn't have to be perfect by any means because this trimmer is going to do the work. All we're trying to do is get it close enough that we can drive it home. And then we will take this, whichever end fits closest. We'll just drive it down a little bit to a little bit more of a point like this. Bevel it. Drop it down inside here, and then we will hammer it in. Just like this. And when we get to the bottom, we're not going to try to push it out. We're just going to put another one in right behind it to chase it out. So we'll just get another one ready to go here. Out of another piece of scrap maple material here. That one will drop out, and the next one will get formed. Just like that. You can see it peeling the material off as it goes down. When it gets to the bottom, we just put another piece on. Just don't have another piece, so I'll use this one to drive it out with. And that's one that's already been through there, just like that. And when we pick those up off the ground, what we have is small dowels or tines. And again, these were used to make rakes and things like that with, rake tines back in the old days, but we can use them to make our pins for putting things together. We just have to make sure that what we do is we have pre-made the correct size holes here in our tine maker for the auger bits that we have. If we match 2 or 3 holes up to 2 or 3 different size auger bits, we give ourselves a lot of options. Guys, I'm Dave Canterbury with Pathfinder School, and I hope you enjoyed this very simple, quick demonstration on how to make dowels or tines that you can use for joining 2 pieces of wood together in a more permanent fashion. I appreciate your views, I appreciate your support, I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.